Okay, I call this meeting to order. This is the March meeting of the PPOA Board of Directors, 2015. Welcome to each one of you. Glad that you're here. Particularly want to welcome Ross as one of our candidates for the board, and Robin as well. Thank you for being here. The only word of wisdom I have is silence your cell phones, please. Appreciate that. Okay, open session. Do we have anybody that wants to comment to the board? Okay, thank you. If not, we'll move on. Minutes, you have the minutes. You have reviewed the minutes. Does anybody have any additions, corrections, deletions? Okay, if not, they will stand approved as written. Financials. Mr. Lewis, our treasurer.
Well, for the last time, it gives me great pleasure to let Mr. Bartholomew go through once again a very good start for a fiscal year. We've had another good month, and I'll let him go through that for you.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Mr. President, we're going to go over the financials for the month ending January 31st. We are now through one quarter of our fiscal year. And let's take a look at our revenues and see how we did this month. We finished the month actually $5,400 ahead of our plan, and let's see how we did it. Operations assessment for the month is up a little bit. If you remember from the vote in March of 13, $575 of your assessment dollars went to operations starting November 1st. We do have 2,958 members now, so we're plus 6 members year to date. And you can see on the right-hand side, the year-to-date number reflects that. Communication was right at their plan for the month. Year-to-date, due to ad revenue, they are $2,500 ahead of their plan. Food and beverage had another good revenue month, $15,000 ahead of their revenue budget. And year-to-date, we're a full $40,000 ahead of our revenue budget for the year, and $48,000 ahead of prior year. So the Brazos room has been very busy, and we've been busy in all aspects of our food and beverage operation. The golf department, the $5 trail fee increase for the month, that's why the positive variance of $2,100. Year-to-date, though, we're down $6,470, and that is due to weather. We just don't have the green fees nor the gust fees, and had a lot of bad weather so far this fiscal year that's really affecting us. The marina, all in wet slip revenue, we were misplanned by $4,800 for the month, $11,000 for the year, and that is entirely due to the lack of our wet slips. I just heard from our chairman, Joe Harmon, that the rate did go up a foot, so that's good news. We need about 10 more, and they'll be set. It was a slow month for building activity, both in PPOA and PPCC and roads and grounds. We had 10 transfer fees on a plan of 13. Year-to-date, 37 on a plan of 39. On roads and grounds, we only had road maintenance fees of 2 this month on a budget of 4. But year-to-date, we have 21 on a budget of 11. So if you look over on the year-to-date number, we did miss plan this month, but we are considerably ahead of plan by $30,000 in roads and grounds. Total permits are now at $26,000 on a plan of 14. So we did have a lot of building activity. Now, as that inventory gets depleted, I'm sure in future months we're going to see those numbers return back to the levels we had in previous months. Slow month for the year, missed the plan by $2,800, and year-to-date we're right at budget, just a little bit ahead of budget by $386. Security and ACC, a combination of traffic tickets and also tags for your cars, so please slow down out there. We exceeded our revenue plan, and both for the month and the year, and it's both due to traffic tickets and sticker revenues, both commercial and vehicles. We have full stables now with 5 horses in waiting, so that's good to see. So we're ahead of plan by just a little bit in the stables. And Sports and Rec hit their financial plan this month by $314, and year-to-date, $29.18. all due to strong campground revenue. Cost of goods sold responded accordingly to the sales. As you can see, the food and beverage sales go up, so food and beverage costs go up. Still working on our food costs a little bit. We'd like to get that down a little bit. And then the rest of the numbers, you can see the marina, just the lack of sales, so that number is way down for both the month and year to date. And food and beverage year to date, that is due to the increase in sales on the cost of goods sold. Labor, we just about spent our entire labor budget, left $21.53 on the table. We still have one position to fill. We're having great difficulty finding the right person, and that is down at the PAC and a maintenance facility person to take care of the whole 35 acres. So we're down one staff person, and year to date we've spent $12,000 less than our budget on our labor. On our expenses, you can see other expenses, food and beverage, had to buy some extra propane and miscellaneous expenses due to the increase in business for the month. You can see, though, year to date, we are $6,000 less than our budget, so we're good there. Golf department, just a slight missed a plan on expenses, but year to date, we have spent less than our budget. Marina, we had a little water leak, so we had a higher water bill than anticipated this month. Year to date, just an $896 missed a plan. Membership services, that's our election expenses for the month, and year to date came in a little bit higher than we anticipated. G&A finished ahead of plan, as did roads and grounds. And you can see the rest of the small variances there. Sports and rec, $1,800. That is due to a high electricity bill down at the PAC this month. And also some repairs that we had to do down there. Year to date, though, you can see we're $1,500 ahead of our plan. So year to date, we're fine. Facilities maintenance, just repairs continue. A variety of plumbing, electrical, HVAC repairs, both for the month and year to date, we're behind plan. And in all probability, we'll continue to be behind plan in facilities maintenance as we just have more things breaking down than we have to repair. And let's look at how it all rolls up into our net departmental income. This is the first month that we had a small missed plan of $6,492. But you can see year to date, we're well ahead of our plan. $108,000, $645 on a plan to lose $34,000 for a positive variance of $142,000. Let's look at the year-to-date numbers. Communications is exceeding the plan so far. Food and beverage is just a little bit behind the plan, but you can see they're $5,900 ahead of last year. That's that column that we added this year. We've lost $21,000 in food and beverage, but this time last year we lost $27,000. All the negative numbers, the marina again, the wet slip revenue, member services, election expenses. You can see the roads and grounds, $53,000 ahead of plan, so even though we had kind of a slow month this month, year to date we're doing fine. And slight missed to plan. Security and ACC, again, that is all traffic tickets and stickers. Stables right on plan, small miss, $477. Sports and rec is ahead of their plan, as is G&A, where the transfer fees go, and facilities maintenance, as I mentioned, due to repairs, we have a missed a plan year to date. But all in all, we have a good start to the first quarter of the fiscal year. Moving on to our operating forecast, this is where we take a look at our 3 months of actual, and then 9 months of forecast, and then compare that to the budget, and then we try to get a look at what we think we're going to end the year. All the numbers without brackets are positive numbers, so roads and grounds we expect to be about $39,000 ahead of plan when it's all said and done. PPLA and PCC, $1,800. Security, $5,000. Communication, $2,000. Food and beverage, we're expecting a missed a plan of $7,300, but we have an extremely aggressive food and beverage budget. We lost $3,000 last year in food and beverage. We wrote a plan to lose only $22,000. So you can see that's an extremely aggressive plan. And the year before that, we lost 63. So we're moving in the right direction. And but as we sit here today, we can't guarantee that we're going to get down to that $22,000 number, but we hope to get close. In forecasting a small MISTA plan, $2,200 when it's all said and done. As member services, $1,819 MISTA plan anticipated. Due to the changing out of the horses, small MISTA plan there of just $477. Sports and Rec, we anticipate finishing ahead of plan by the time the year ends. Facilities maintenance, I don't think we'll make it. Right now, we're anticipating a miss of about $3,500 on facilities maintenance. Pro Shop, right on plan. Golf course, right now, the anticipated spending is $606. Budget $613, and if Mr. Underwood needs to spend the $613, we will certainly allow him to do so and encourage him to do so. In the marina, we're showing a slight MISTA plan when it's all said and done of $3,588. When you roll it all down to the bottom line, our forecasts are showing $46,921 is where we think we're going to end the year on a plan of $2,351, positive variance of $44,570 when we end the fiscal year. Our capital expenditure report. We've completed some projects already. You can see them listed there. One big one that's in progress. The weather obviously has hampered the clubhouse railing and exterior project. They're still painting, but with the cold weather, it's really slowed them down. And 2015 in progress, the dog park irrigation project has started. Weather, again, got us stalemate, so we had to stop and pull off. We'll go back and finish that within the next couple weeks. The servers are on property, and David and Russ have started to configure those. That is a extremely lengthy process. All the data has to be merged from our current server over to the new server, and that is a Herculean task that will take a couple weeks, if not longer. But the servers are in, and David and Russ are doing a great job to get those up and running in the next couple weeks. We have the cart path project started. Weather's hampering that also, but we'll be finishing that up as soon as we get some good weather. And the gym dividers, they came out and measured, and those are now ordered. And that is a dividing curtain between the gyms so that if people want to play pickleball, people can play basketball on the other side. So that'll be really beneficial, especially next week. Spring breaks here and all the kids will be using the pack, but we won't have it yet, but that's what it will be used for in the future. Let's look at our capital fund. As of January 31st, we have ending cash balance of $1.859 million. Let's take a look at what we anticipate our spend to be. Beginning balance, $1.9 million. Our assessments, $8 every month from each member. Initiation fees anticipated to be $525,000. Interest and other income from our CDs, $3,500. Marina loan receivable, $48,600. Total funding, $861,000. That is a large number. It was $940 last year, so there's still a chance if we can get those initiation deposits rolling that could go up higher. 2015 capital expenditures of $1.244 million. With our carryovers of $342, total expenditures $1.5 million. Ending cash balance anticipated in our reserve fund $1,175,959 at 10/31/15. Taking a look at our road and drainage fund, we started out beginning cash balance of $645,000. As we sit here today, we have $421,000 in that account. Fund deposits for the year anticipated to be $691,000, and again, that is from your assessments, $19 of every resident's assessment dollars go to road and drainage. Fund expenditures planned of $929,000. That's a rather large number, and to get it all and to finish all those projects is going to be quite difficult, but we do have it budgeted. So if we do all the projects budgeted, budgeted, we will have $406,756 left in our road and drainage fund at the end of our fiscal year, October 31st, 2015. And that concludes our financial report for this month. I'll turn it back over to Mr. Treasurer. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Bartholomew. We appreciate it. Good financial report. Lots of information there. Old business. We do have a request for approval of a revised AFE 151004 for replacement of archery range storage building. Mr. Maurer.
Mr. President, I move the board approve AFE 15-10-04 in the amount of $44,000.
Thank you, Mr. Maurer. Is there a second? Been moved and seconded. Comments?
Mr. President?
Rice? Yes.
I have several comments
All right.
I'd like to
Thank
make
you. We
in
appreciate
regard
it.
to this motion. The archery and air rifle range down on Ravenswood has been probably the fastest growing amenity we've had in the past several years. It's been in existence for approximately 9 years. I think that's right, Bob. And this amenity evolved from a bottom-up grassroots initiative by a few enthusiasts that got together, and it just started the ball rolling. And we have an organization down there now, the Archery and Air Rifle Association, with over 200 members. With the safety protocol that's been initiated and adopted and enforced down there, everybody that goes on the range has to sign in, so that the association, when I say the association, that's the Archery Association, has been able to gather a lot of data. And since its founding in 2006, there's been over 11,000 users or people that have signed in to use that facility over the last 9 years, which is pretty remarkable. And the growth has been progressive. Every year it's been more and more. And this past year, 2014, they had 2,827 sign in. So it is a vibrant and robust organization. The interest in archery and air rifle shooting within Pecan has generated a lot of interest on the outside as well. And the Archery Association has been able to sponsor and hold some competitions and tournaments down there. The operation, maintenance, and improvements to the archery facility has been largely self-supported by the volunteers of the organization, with just minimal financial support heretofore from PPOA. The purpose of the building that's being requested in this motion is to provide a safe and secure facility for the storage, maintenance, and repair of a lot of expensive targets, tools, equipment, and supplies that they have down in those temporary sheds that are down there now. In addition to safety and security, some of the other requirements of the building are compliance with structural requirements that are required by the national building codes, water-resistant materials to withstand the periodic high water conditions that exist down there, minimal maintenance, and visual compatibility with the nearby RV pavilion. As a sound investment and asset for PPOA, the proposed building should provide long-lasting durability also, with an expected life over the next 40 or 50 years. So that's any investment we make today is going to be around for a while. It should also be noted that if this motion is approved for construction for the $44,000, as Mr. Mowers indicated, the unit square foot cost that works out to $59.78, which is about 5.5% lower than the national average for a building of a similar type across the country. So I think it's, in my personal opinion, a really sound investment.
Thank you for that overview, Mr. Kreis. For those of you that don't know, but you probably, most of you do know, Mr. Kreis is our in-house architect and engineer on anything that we build, and it's not going to get built until he says it's okay, and we appreciate that. He played a critical role on the Brazos Room, on this building. He'll play a role in the kitchen renovation. He has the expertise and the desire to share that expertise with us, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Mr. Bauer.
Mr. President, when this came up last month, I was concerned and raised the issue of the procedure that had been followed in bidding and awarding the contract. I'm perfectly satisfied that that procedure that we have established, we went out with a set of specifications, a complete set of plans. We got 3 bids, and we're picking the best bid. I'm happy that we redid it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, ma'am.
I'll get the second on that.
Ms. Franson. Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. New business. Board needs to ratify BR 150201, which was our vote on pertaining to a request for a single lot assessment, which was lot number 1354, unit 15, due to unusual circumstances. It's a lot that's over on Ravenswood that we all have agreed is an unbuildable. So.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the board ratify an email vote, which is Resolution BR 1502-001, for the single lot assessment on lot 1354.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Herzog. Okay, the vote was unanimous to convert that to a single lot assessment. So, any other comments or thoughts? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Another e-vote ratification. Judge Burns.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we ratify an email vote BR 1502-002, which is an AFE 15-10-09 for kitchen renovation which is a renovation design in the amount of $52,000. And that was also a unanimous vote.
It was unanimous, yes. And the reason we did that at that time was we had some timelines we needed to meet with the contractor that was going to contract to do the kitchen. And so we felt like we had enough understanding, we worked on it together, and we decided to go ahead and vote on it so we could get that covered. So, any other comments?
Second motion.
Did you, I think, oh, yes, I'm sorry. You're seconding the motion. Okay, it's now been moved and seconded. Any other comments? If not, raise your right hand. Do you approve? Okay. Unanimous? Okay, request for approval of the packed pool fence. Ms. Franson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the board approve AFE 15-10-11 to replace the current packed pool fence enclosure in the amount of $25,000.
Okay, is there a second?
I second the motion.
You seconded it?
Yes.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve this AFE to replace the pool fence enclosure at the packed pool. Any other thoughts, discussion?
Mr. President, if I may, there currently exists an enclosure of the packed pool, but it's quickly or has deteriorated over the years. And there's an area where the current equipment is kept, but it's kind of deteriorating as well. So the request that has come from Sports and Rec is to replace the current fence, to remove the current fence and replace it with a new fence and also to build a retainer area on the south side that will help block some of the dirt and the dust and the leaves and the things that blow into the pool. So it should cut down on the maintenance part of the pool as well. So I think it's certainly it's a well-used amenity by not only adults but by our children. So.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Price, did you have something?
Yes, I had a couple questions for Mr. Casterland. Maybe he could answer them. Keith, there was only one of the bidders that indicated what the spacing of the columns of the posts were going to be. Are they going to be 8 feet apart or 6 feet or what?
Well, it was all specified on the one cover sheet that they got with the specs on there.
I don't see the spacing of the posts.
The spacing on the width of the posts themselves.
Yeah,
I think this isn't fabricated. This is all fabricated from the manufacturer, so it was pretty standard. The questions that we got, I don't know the exact one, but they did tell us that ours were wrong and way too far apart, and it's a shorter distance between the spacing. I don't know the exact number on the actual spacing because
typically when they make those, they make these in panels.
Right.
And then, they can get a 6-foot panel, an 8-foot panel, or a 10-foot panel.
which is different than what we have. The guy built the one that we had was built on site. And every contractor I visited said it was built too far apart even to begin with. But all these other ones are getting them from big manufacturers. They're not building it in-house so they can just choose what size. It's the standard size fitting the width of the pickets and the rails.
And the connection, it's going to be a plate-mounted connection?
They're all plate-mounted on top without, not a core drill. Yeah, and they did say that they warranty that. That was the one question that I had gone back, that Daniel brought up, was with the plate mount option, will that cover that installation of the warranty? And yes, barring vandalism or somebody does something intentionally to destroy it, they will warranty that option also.
I don't mean to belabor this any further, but I do have another question. Is that pool deck sloping at all? Is there a slope? Because if you've got a crown in the thing, you're going to get, the spacing below the panel is going to vary, or the top.
I couldn't tell you if it is or not. I know within there they have to build it no higher than 4 inches. So the whole thing's going to meet the code standard, between the picket spacing and the bottom rail spacing. There is a drop off, so they're going to have some adjustment. It might even have a stair step going to the back because it's built on that the foundation, the edging, the footer. There's a footer that goes all the way around the pool, so there's a portion that's not actually inclusive of the pool deck where the footer continues, and that footer does step down. So there's probably going to be a slight step down to the back, but it'd still be the same standard height, the 6 feet from ground level up.
Depending on the panels, they could go step up.
Yeah, they'll be straight. It'll be straight across, step down the side for plantation, because that's where the footer goes down and then cuts across.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And it is galvanized. That was another question because it didn't specify. It is galvanized steel. It's powder-coated galvanized steel is what we're getting.
Thank you.
What was the material that was initially installed?
Initially was just regular iron.
Not galvanized?
No. And they painted right over the rust.
Yeah, I saw it. It wasn't even primed under the paint.
Okay, any other questions? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Request for approval of drainage facility repair and improvement at 8804 Briarfield. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. President, I move that the board approve AFE 150201 in the amount of $87,000 for the Briarfield drainage facility repair.
Okay, is there a second?
I second the motion.
Been seconded. Further discussion?
Just a couple of comments, Mr. President.
All right, thank you.
This is the first of major drainage repair that we will begin to accomplish. As you know, we've had these issues for a bit, but they were highlighted by the sudden rainstorm we had last year. It was about a 50-year flood cycle, and so we're trying to take care of that issue before 50 years happens again. But anyway, we're trying to take care of that problem, and we're going to do it by breaking this drainage program up into 12 different smaller programs, and this is the first of those projects that we will be working this year. We'll have 8 more that will be coming down the pike at us.
All right, other thoughts? This is an important thing. We have engineered it, and we think we've got it right, and it's fixed so that we'll take care of the problem. So appreciate that. Any other comments? Yes, Mr. Maurer.
This kind of work is controlled primarily by the Infrastructure Committee that has been in place for many years. It's composed of retired professional engineers familiar with highways, road construction, drainage situations, and it's not on the back of an old envelope. It actually professional consultants brought in to do hydrological studies so that the association can move forward with confidence on the plans that are laid out by the Infrastructure Committee. And if I'm not mistaken, there's either a 10 or a 20-year outline of drainage issues that will be addressed. And part of that issues is funded by the Drainage Fund, which the membership has approved and which is kept separate, specific for that particular event. And I wanted everybody in the membership to understand your money's coming in for that issue. Professionals are handling it the way it ought to be handled, and the board is following up on that along with management. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maurer. Any other comments? All in favor, raise your right hand, please. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Request for approval of replacement of a compaction roller. Mr. Jacob.
Mr. President, I move the board approve AFE 150306, which is to buy us a new street roller. The current roller we have is undersized, it's difficult to manipulate, has to be loaded on a truck, taken around. I recommend that we approve this AFE in the amount of $18,000.
All right. Do I have a second?
Okay.
Been seconded by Mr. Lewis. Discussion?
I might add Mr. Van Hatten will just give us a little upgrade on what's going to happen with the new one.
Well, the reason we're looking to replace the current roller is just to have a more adequate machine to keep up with all the patching program that we've got in place now. And having the new roller that we can tow around freely will greatly increase our productivity with maintenance on the roads.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Maurer?
I would also like to comment that membership puts money into a fund called Capital Asset Reserve Fund. Management, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, prepared an inventory of every physical asset that the association owned. Knives, forks, napkins, graders, dump trucks, buildings, furniture, computers, etc., etc. And prepared into that list a 20-year projected life expectancy and assumed estimated cost replacement. So when an issue comes up like a physical asset that's worn out, the membership's money that has gone into this reserve fund is there to buy the replacement. So you're putting your money into a fund that is being kept separate from all other funds, and then when we need it, we got the money in the fund. Your money is working for you now and in the next years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maurer. Any other comments? All right, all in favor? Raise your right hand. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Replacement of HVAC in the facilities office, channel 191, shop and storage area. Mr. Ward.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I move that the board approve project AFE number 15-0305. This is for the replacement of the HVAC unit that controls the facilities office, channel 191, shop, storage areas, and housekeeping. The current unit is down and is beyond repair. We'll sooner than we think, probably be into warm weather, and this unit will be sorely needed to keep a comfortable working atmosphere for this group of our employees. The AFE is in the amount of $3,000.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve AFE 150305, replacement of the HVAC unit. Other comments?
Yes, Mr.
Yes, sir.
President. Mr. Van Patten, this is just for the equipment itself. The installation will be done by your staff?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Other comments, questions? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand, please. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Request for approval of the replacement of a current flail mower. Mr. Herzog.
This is AFE 150304. It was put in by Mr. Van Patten, and his request for the current mower has been replaced with numerous spare parts over and over, and is no longer able to stay in good enough shape, so he has requested that we replace it, and the total capital required to replace it is $6,573. I make a motion the board approve 15-03-04 for the replacement of the current flail mower.
Okay. Second? Okay, been seconded. Other comments? As Mr. Herzog said, this mower is a wreck. It really doesn't function at all anymore, and we'll use it for parts the best that we can, but it is something that we do need very much. Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Request for purchase an additional zero-turn mower for the grounds department in the amount of $16,300. Mr. Herzog?
Yes, there has been a reassignment of tasks and responsibilities in the groundkeeping, and one of them has been the increase in bringing in new people to take care of the club grounds and the sports field. Based on his professionalism, past performance, and attention to detail, this task has been assigned again to Daniel Van Patten. He's asked for a zero-turn mower. He's also looking to try and hire an additional individual in order to do this responsibility. The cost of the new zero-turn mower will be $16,300. I make a motion that the board approve 15-03-03 for $16,300.
Okay, second?
Second.
Second? Mr. Jacob? Other comments? I think you explained it very well, Mr. Herzog. Is that all correct? Okay. All right. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Purchase of replacement golf course equipment. Mr. Herzog.
This is AFE 15-10-10, and this is for the replacement of multiple pieces of equipment with a total of $202,650. I make a motion that the board approve AFE 15-10-10 for $2,650.
All right. Second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Ward? Any other comments?
Yes, I have a couple comments.
All right.
This will appear on the look at it saying, why are we replacing all of these pieces of equipment at the same time, which is the question that was asked to me. The reason for doing that is a lot of this equipment is on the end of its life or past it. The stuff is isn't past it, is using lots of spare equipment, and the other stuff is about to go away. So in order to try and take advantage of multiple pieces of equipment being bid by 3 different bidders and take advantage of bundling the product line, we have decided to replace all of this equipment at once. Some of those situations where the bidding was taking place, you may see that we did not necessarily select the lowest bidder. And the reason why we did not select the lowest bidder is because of the current performance of the products we got from some people like John Deere. If we did not buy John Deere lawnmowers, we would lose an awful lot of our auxiliary equipment that goes along with it, worth well over $10,000. And special people like John Deere and other companies are very good at certain pieces of equipment. So we wanted to be able to utilize their capability, at the same time take advantage of bundling a bunch of products. I think this is the best approach and a very, very smart way for Mike to be doing business, and I think he should be applauded. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Other comments?
Mr. President, going back to what Mr. Maurer was commenting about how the capital budget is set up, this was scheduled to be replaced this year in the amount of a budget of $204,000, and it came under budget at $202,000. So that's an example of how the capital budget planning really does assist in the future planning of our current assets.
Okay, thank you. Other comments? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. It's a lot of purchasing. We recognize that, but it's very critical. It's very important that we get it done and we do it correctly, and that's what we did. Committee management recommendations requiring board action, there are none. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Bartholomew for the management report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please attend the annual meeting this Saturday. It starts at 11 a.m. sharp. So if you are so inclined and have not voted yet, you can vote all the way up to 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. And so please join us for our annual meeting, and we'll give a year-end financial report and also State of the Association, along with our annual business that we conduct each year, including the election of our new directors and the bylaws. 4 bylaw amendments are on the agenda. Last month, the board approved a property maintenance new rule addressing derelict properties. If you look on page 10 of the columns, that whole rule is outlined for you, and that is to address properties that are in disrepair and have become an eyesore to the community, and it will give us now something, a backbone, so to speak, or a rule to back up Brent when he goes about his compliance duties. So thank you to the board for that, and please make yourself aware of that on page 10 of the columns. Looking ahead, we have a lot of activities coming up. We have a golf cart drive-in movie March 13th at the PAC. So hopefully the weather is going to warm up a little bit. New event at the PAC. Actually, it's this Saturday night, Ladies' Night Out, painting on canvas. $35 between 5 and 7:30 p.m. You will be able to get step-by-step instructions and be able to leave with your own masterpiece. Hopefully. Next week is spring break for the kids, so we have a lot of activities planned at the PAC. Please look at the columns on page 35. There'll be pickleball, basketball tournaments, dodgeball, and many, many more activities for the kids. So please keep the kids, send them up to the PAC, and they'll have a good time, I can assure you. One of our really good traditions is the Pecan Plantation Women's Club annual student dinner and dance. That takes place on March 28th, 5:30 social time, followed by a silent auction, including raffles for some great prizes. A plated steak dinner will take place at 7 o'clock, followed by dancing after dinner. Always a popular event, and proceeds will benefit area charities, including the Food and Beverage Department of Pecan. They've been very generous to us over the years, and we'd like to thank the Women's Club for everything they've done for the Food and Beverage Department. Due to the weather, the columns is late in being delivered to you. We did send an email blast out today, so if you do get our email blast, you can at least read the columns. It is on the website. And just as soon as the weather clears, I'm sure the columns will be delivered to you, hopefully tomorrow. Have some save the dates coming up. April 4th, another one of our great traditions, the annual Easter egg hunt at the PAC. that takes place early morning at, I believe, 9 o'clock on the 4th, followed up by our Easter buffet on April 5th. Always a very, very popular event. Pecan's Got Talent returns on April 10th. We have some very, very talented people throughout the community who will showcase their talents. So if you've never come to a show, please make plans on April 10th to see all the talent that Pecan has to offer.
Do you have a time on that?
I do not have the exact time that that will start, but I can get that for you. 7 o'clock. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. The Pecan Plantation ENS Health Fair is the next day on April 11th, so they do various health checks for you in addition to some booths, so please come up. That's always a very popular event coming up on April 11th. And we have a new event. I hope this is going to be a great pecan tradition in the future. The Grounds Committee has come up with an idea called Pick Up Pecan Day. This is a community-wide trash pickup day. It's very popular in many cities, and we're going to have that on April 12th between 2 and 5 o'clock. We'll gather at the pack and give you a little route to go on, garbage bags, and then you can leave your garbage bags along the road, and we'll have some folks come and pick them up and hopefully make Pecan a cleaner place for all, followed up by an ice cream sundae party afterwards. And please look at your columns. We have some more details to follow. Garage sales coming up on April 18th. It's always the third Saturday of both October and April. We started something last year, having a members pre-sale, and that takes place on the 17th. That has turned out to be very popular. You can have a pre-sale for Pecan members only between 5 and 8 p.m. Cowboy Music Gathering at the Pavilion, April 25th. Started last year, actually 2 years ago. This will be our third year. Down at the Pavilion, Campground Pavilion, and so please join us for that event, along with a melodrama stage play coming in May, all with Pecan talent. And finally, I'm sad to announce that our tennis pro, Gonzalo, is leaving us. Gonzalo and his wife, Catherine, are moving to Switzerland for family considerations. I want to thank Gonzalo and Catherine for their many years of service to the tennis program. They've grown the tennis program, especially the junior program, instituted the Hood County News tennis tournament, have done a great job growing tennis in Pecan Plantation. They will be sorely missed, and good luck to both Catherine and Gonzalo as they go to Switzerland for their new adventure. And with that, Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Bartholomew. Appreciate that. Before we adjourn, I do have one question of Mr. Casterland. My granddaughter, 13-year-old granddaughter, and two of her friends launched their Broadway career last year at Pecan Plantation, and she is very anxious to find out what she's going to be starring in this coming year. Do you know what the play will be this year so that I can tell her?
She will love it. It's going to be Cinderella.
All right. Thank you. That's all the information I needed. Yes.
Yeah, every year, just to give you a little more detail, Missoula Children's Theater is a touring troupe that goes out throughout the United States, groups of 2 individuals, and they come in for a week, starting out with auditions on Monday. Starting out, we like to get about 60 kids involved. Some are actors, and some are help with the stage, and some are the supervisors. And then culminated with a performance, a couple performances on that Saturday. So it's been very, very successful, and hopefully it will be again this year. So if you're so inclined, please look forward to that coming up in July.
Okay. Ms. Francis.
Thank you, Mr. President. Since this is the last official, my last official board meeting, I just have a couple of things I'd like to say. My first thing is to thank the management of PPOA. It's been a pleasure working with you. You're very positive, forward-looking, and always thinking about the best for the members. And that also goes, I'd like to thank the boards that I've worked with the last 3 years. It's been just a true honor to be part of the 9 people that represent Pecan. And most of all, I'd like to thank the members for your support and your trust in your board, because without your support and your trust, we can't get the things accomplished that we need to get accomplished. So I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
I'm going to reserve my comments for Saturday.
We've already talked.
All right. Anything else? All right. stand adjourned. Thank you all.